Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be this really fun glittery golden green leafy nail set. So I am starting off with a bunch of these colors from Apres, these two different yellows over here, and then this green as well, and then these two glitters from Glam. So this is 24K, this beautiful golden color over here, and then over here we have Shamrock Glow. So this is a really beautiful glittery green color. It also has a bit of gold flecks in it. So I am starting off with doing all of the nails this really beautiful pastel yellow color. It's the lighter color of the two yellows that I'm using over here, and it is so beautiful. I love it because it's got like the tiniest undertone of green to it, which really worked really well with this whole set of the yellow gold and the green as well. It was just such a perfect color, and I love that it worked so well with this set. So I'm doing all of that, and then I matte top coated all of them, and now I'm taking these two gels over here, the yellow and the green, placing them off onto the nail set, and I'm going to draw out the leaves for this set. So I'm starting off with the yellow over here, creating this nice curved design, and then for the other half of the leaf, I actually create this cute little like notch. It's like this little C, really easy to do, nothing complicated, but I felt like it just added a little bit of character. It looks like a leaf that was like maybe like torn off. It just adds a little bit of character and interest to this cute little leaf. Obviously you can make it like perfectly shaped and everything like that, but I thought it just added a little bit of interest. And this color that I'm using here to create the leaf, and also the green that we use right over here, are going to create a different shaped leaf. I was only kind of using these as background colors because initially I was going to do them just completely in the glitter gels that I'm using, but the glitter gels were not opaque enough, and I was gonna have to layer up so many different layers for the color to actually show through. So I'm just kind of using this as a background layer. So you can see over here with this leaf over here, it's a little bit more complicated. There are more steps to it. So I kind of just drew out the initial placement where I wanted the leaves just with lines, and now I'm going to fill in the shape over here, just kind of adding more roundness to the leaves and making them longer and thicker. And then I'm going to go and perfect this afterwards, after I cure this initial layer, because it was starting to look a little bit like, well, a different kind of leaf and not the one that I really had in mind. So after I cure this first layer, I'm going to go in and kind of adjust the shape of this a little bit. But I didn't want to do too much in one go. Again, this is supposed to just be the background color for the glitter to go on top of, so I didn't want to add too much of it. So over here, as you can see, like I said, it was just a background color. You can see that the glitter gels are quite sheer, so they definitely needed a base, and I even do 2 layers of the glitter as well just to completely fill it up. But you can see like this definitely would not have been opaque enough to do the initial layer and just have it with this. So I used the background color, and it was great, and now I'm just kind of going over and filling it in with this glitter over here, trying to just perfect the shape a little bit as I go. And again, I'm going to do 2 layers of this as well, so that not too much of the yellow is peeking through underneath. And then over here, as you can see, this leaf was not exactly the shape that I had in mind initially, so I'm going to create more, well, actually not create more space. I'm going to fill in the space between the leaves a little bit more, make it a little bit more rounded. It's kind of like a maple leaf, but not exactly, because a maple leaf only has like really 3 branches and they're kind of squiggly at the end. It was kind of, I'm not exactly sure what kind of leaf I had in mind. I just kind of drew it. And like I said, it didn't exactly come out exactly how I planned, but I'm just kind of filling in, creating larger leaves where they're a little bit more connected. And once I go in with the black details, it'll definitely fill in the blanks. So over here, I have the perfect black from Glam, and I'm just going to outline the shape, and we're going to add some veining. As you can see here, you see I did that little flick outside of the gel with the black gel. That was on purpose. I wanted the leaf to look a little bit scraggly. You can see what I'm doing, the outline. It's not, well, I mean, it's like a perfect outline. It is like a good outline, but I am purposely adding these little like flicks and jags, because no leaf is perfect, especially once it's like fallen off a tree and some animals got to it or it got stepped on. So I just kind of added like a little bit of jaggedness using the outline and this black gel over here to create some veining and just add a little bit more detail to the leaves so that they actually look like leaves and not just blobs of glitter. So I'm just adding a little bit of veining over here, and I think it definitely looks like a leaf now. And then we're gonna go over here to this leaf over here that I struggled with a little bit, but that's okay. It's coming together now, so I'm just filling in with glitter. Again, with this one, I also do 2 layers just so that the glitter gets completely opaque. And I'm just going to fill it in a little bit over here, not doing anything too crazy. Once you have the shape down, the filling in and even the outline is a lot easier because there's no way to do it wrong in the sense that like no leaf is perfect. You can see over here I'm also doing like those little jaggedy edges of the leaf with the outline, and there's no one exact leaf that your design has to look like, unless of course you want to and you have a very specific leaf in mind. Maybe you have a leaf that's very special to you. And like I remember when I was little, I used to do like those pressed leaves and stuff, so I know that can be like very sentimental or whatever. But if you are not particular about what leaf your nail looks like, then you can be really just creative with it. I like adding these little jaggedy edges with the black outline. It just looks a little bit more realistic, adds some texture, definitely adds some detail, and again, like I said, makes it look more like a leaf than just a pointy shape with a bunch of glitter on it. So just adding these little shapes over here, you can see I'm just naturally flicking out my wrist and creating these lines. I don't want it to be too perfect. I don't want any two flicks to look the same. And I kind of use the black gel to extend the shape of the leaves and make them look a little pointy. Before they were very like rounded and had this rounded shape to it, but once you add the outline, you can really determine and decide how pointy or how jagged, or just you can really use the outline to perfect the shape is basically what I'm trying to say. And over here I'm adding some veining, so just doing some light little curves, adding a few little branches off of the sides. You kind of want to have like, if you have a leaf with like a bunch of little arms like this one, you kind of want to have veins kind of going to each of the arms, but there's really, again, no wrong way to do it. You can make it very cartoonish, you can make it realistic. It's all up to you and how detailed you want the set to be. And because I wanted those leaves to really be at the center of attention, and I didn't want the rest of the nail set to be, well, I mean, the rest of this nail set does end up a little bit dramatic, so I end up doing a very dramatic crystal placement, but I didn't want to add too much art detail in the sense of like adding more leaves or anything like that. I kind of just wanted the two to be the center of attention. So the rest of it is just kind of like artwork without being too like specific on what it is really. So you can see I did like half the nail over here in green glitter, and then just using this striping sticker tape over here to add some detail without being too specific on what it is. So over here on this nail, I'm going to do a French nail. I have been practicing my Frenches. It's a lot harder for me to do it on camera because sometimes I really need to just get my nose as close as possible to my nail, to the nail, so I can actually see what I'm doing. But I've been trying different techniques, and this one with doing like the lines up the sides first and then filling it in worked pretty well until I started getting a little carried away. I think one of the biggest issues for me with French is that I'll start like perfecting it and perfecting it and perfecting it until all of a sudden the whole thing is lopsided and it just looks like a mess. Like I don't know when to stop. And that's like a thing with French. It's like sometimes with a French, it's like if you get it to a point that you're happy, just stick with it, because the more you fuss around with it, sometimes the more you can ruin it. But as you can see here, I kind of perfected it a bit off camera, and I like how it came out. It's not the best French ever, of course, but I do think it's one of my best, so I will take it. There's only one way to get better at it, and that's to just keep doing it. So I'm going to try to keep doing that as much as possible. And then over here, I'm doing a crystal placement. I do quite a dramatic one. I was in the mood for something a little bit intense. Like I meant to say, like I said before, that like I didn't want the rest of the nail design to kind of take over, but I did do it this dramatic nail set. And then my camera was dying and kind of like falling apart, so I didn't want it to overheat, and I didn't want to have to charge the batteries or anything like that. So I just did this other crystal placement on the French nail over here off camera, and I top coated. I just didn't want to have to wait for the battery to recharge and then film it. I just wanted to get the set done, but it's nothing complicated, just an easy, simple crystal placement. I really love how the set came out. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you all in my next video.